What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to do a reaction video to the Texas flooding and what's going on there, and those little kids being killed and along the river, and camp counselors and houses were strewn just all of a sudden in the middle of the night. And it's horrible. It's horrible. But I wanted to do a reaction video to this, so I'll let you watch the video and then I will come back with my thoughts. So here's the video.
Tonight, the desperate search and recovery for survivors in Central Texas. By air, foot, and water are going through the mangled wreckage left in the wake of that fatal flash flood.
We remain hopeful every foot, every mile, everything to the river.
The clock is ticking. Search efforts entering their fourth day after torrential rain sent the Guadalupe River surging, turning holiday weekend into a trail of horror.
Water rose so quick, you couldn't do anything about it.
You know what I see? I see a graveyard. This is sacred ground. It's real hard not to feel bad, because I know some of these people.
Dozens of people still missing, at least 105 people dead, more than 1,000 people have been rescued.
In debris fields like this, there are dozens of workers. You can see them scattered. There are debris piles like this extending for dozens of miles down the Guadalupe River.
And among the dead, at least 27 children from one summer camp, the beloved Camp Mystic.
These are babies that were lost.
It is the safest place on Earth. That night on July 4th, it quickly became the most unsafe place on Earth, but not just Mystic, the whole hill country.
Now the stories of their heroism
There was, 200 kids looking to someone for some sort of comfort and safety.
and survival.
We saw all of the other camps destroyed, obliterated.
Plus, questions being raised about emergency warnings. Could more lives have been saved in the second deadliest flood in Texas history?
I
want to say something real quick about the Trump administration and the cuts that Elon Musk made to the National Weather Service, to the NOAA, and someone said in one of the comments that there was a vote about emergency systems put in place in that area. The National Weather Service has always been on the lookout for new storms and what's going on. And NOAA is the National Oceanic Atmospheric Association. They help with tracking hurricanes and tracking floods and tracking whatever. This catastrophic disaster, I wouldn't say could have been 100% prevented, because of course, some people would have died, but it could have been prevented to the point to where some people could have escaped it faster if there was more people in the National Weather Service, which Trump cut. Trump is to blame in this. And now, even though they're recovering and trying to find the bodies, they're recovering bodies right now, they are still in the potential for more rainfall. The ground's already saturated. It's soaked. So people there are going to have to find somewhere else to go until that water, till that land is suitable enough to where you could live there and this not happen again. Because right now, like I said, it's so saturated, it could happen again, just at any time. And with these new storms coming in, climate change is real. The new storms coming in, it's going to be hard to declare emergencies, to get the information out, because the Trump administration wants to deny that climate change is real. They want to completely deny it, that these storms are getting worse and worse and worse. And I am 52 years old, and I know for a fact that the storms have gotten worse. The storms in the wintertime have gotten worse. And in some places, and in other places, it's gotten warmer. The beaches are eroding because there's so much water. The ice caps are melting. Climate change is happening. No matter what the Trump administration wants to claim that it's not, it is. It's happening. It's happening right before your eyes, and we're going to have more storms come in. We're going to have more flooding. We're going to have more tornadoes. And it's sad. It's sad, really, that they want to take that away. And then when the Trump administration was getting to be voted in, they decided they were going to get rid of FEMA. FEMA is Federal Emergency Management Assistance. It helps with disasters. They declare emergencies faster. They get in the National Guard. They rebuild homes. They try to get people places to live. They get them water. They get them clothing. It's almost like a federal government Salvation Army. They get them food. You know, they get them whatever they need. And it's mainly for housing. It's housing assistance, so that way they can get in those places, but they do give them emergency money. And in North Carolina, when that happened before, FEMA was there on the ground and doing their job, but it wasn't fast enough. And people started complaining, and that's the reason, one of the reasons that Trump administration got in was because they thought FEMA wasn't doing their job, and they were. And now here we are in Texas, and we have this disaster. We have all of these people displaced out of their homes. They have nowhere to go to. Now they need that FEMA assistance. Now Trump doesn't want to shut it down. Why? Because it's a red state. And yeah, I said it. It's a red state. He's going to help red states. But he said that California didn't need no FEMA when they had the wildfires. They didn't need no FEMA to help anybody. It makes no sense. You cannot judge by being a Democrat, your political party being a Democrat or Republican, on how you help someone. That's wrong. It's wrong for the Trump administration to do that. But now we have these people that need help, and sure, there's going to be Salvation Army, there's going to be National Guard, there's going to be all these programs come in, but FEMA has to be there to help them. I remember when Katrina hit New Orleans, almost all of Louisiana was underwater. The Super Bowl, that's where people were staying, was in that stadium. And there were so many people crowded in there, and they had toilets overflowing. They had no place to go except that stadium. And it was so overrun with diapers, and, you know, there were children crying all times of the night, and people laying in those cots, and what could you do? FEMA was there. they helped. And the more and more Republicans get appointed and voted in, the more they cut. They cut those kind of programs when people need help from disasters. It's not right. That is what we pay our taxes for. I mean, to help other people. It's not we the people, or, you know, when Republicans are in charge. It's I the person, and you got to do it yourself. You know, that's not a sense of community. That's not the United States. That's a whole nother subject for another day, but I wanted to get into this, and there's so many people. They could have put an alert system out quicker on this flood. They could have put bullhorns or even a speaker system in that camp to where they told them to evacuate right now. Evacuate, get gone. Get out of your beds, get gone. But that did not happen. And now all these children, they died needlessly. There's no purpose in this, and there's no sense in it. And you can't help what God does. I'm not saying that God killed all those children. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that acts of nature cannot be helped, but they can be prevented. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play the video and let you see a little more.
We know the river rises. Nobody saw this coming. Texas Hill Country, known for its majestic beauty, has been home to several summer camps for generations. But it's also been dubbed Flash Flood Alley.
This area of Texas is called Flash Flood Alley because of its steep terrain, its shallow soil, and the numerous high-intensity rainfall events that happen, especially because of its proximity to the Gulf and getting moisture even from the Pacific.
At the epicenter of these deadly floods, Camp Mystic. It's a Christian girls' camp near Hunt, Texas, where 750 campers spent the night into July 4th. Several campers and a counselor are still missing.
It was just a normal day. The day before, like, nobody had any idea what was going to happen.
Camp nurse Devin Williams.
No. I disagree with that statement. Nobody knew it was going to happen. The National Weather Service had put issues out about heavy rainfall, but they did not know that it was going to flood until the last few hours, and there were only 5 people in that National Weather Service office at the time. There could have been more. There could have been more push alerts. There could have been more notifications. So to say that this could have not have been prevented, yes, it could have.
Filming the day's festivities before tragedy struck, staff entertaining campers in the dining hall, games being played on the lawn outside. Caroline Petrona was a counselor at the camp's nearby Cypress Lake, 9 minutes from the Guadalupe River, where she was also previously a camper for 7 years. Never would she have thought the sanctuary for so many girls would be destroyed.
We went to bed, thunder came in around 12 midnight. I woke up about every hour looking at the clock and just watching the night go on, and I was like, wow, it's still storming, still storming, still storming.
At 3:35 a.m., the National Weather Service upgrading a previous flash flood warning, urging people to move to higher ground now. But Caroline...
And see, here's the thing, right then and there should have been an alert to the campers. There should have been an alert, a phone call made to those people saying, get out while you can, get out. But there wasn't. There was no alert. No alert.
And like so many others, didn't get that notification.
We turned in our phones, so none of us had our phones, because that's just what all camps do anywhere. That's part of the reason I wanted to go, is you don't have your phone.
It was sometime between 4 and 6 a.m. when the nearby Guadalupe River surged, rising 26 feet in less than an hour.
in the atmosphere, you had this really slow-moving system that's just circulating and barely moving. On top of that, you added moisture from 3 distinct places. So that's like turning on 3 faucets into a kiddie pool and just letting them pour and pour and pour.
This time-lapse video showing just how fast another nearby river rose hours later.
That's
Houses
horrible.
washed away, bridges severely damaged, trees snapped in half, many toppled, and homes left in the middle of the road. And when the sun rose, an apocalyptic scene. Muddy mattresses, those bent bunk beds, and sodden pink comforters.
We had no idea people were missing. We had no idea that they had to wade through water, barely able to stand to get to the pavilion.
Devin and surviving campers busted.
I went to camp when I was younger, and I don't remember a whole lot because I was real young, and we were all together, and if something like that would have happened back then, there was no cell phones, there was no, even a camp phone, there was nobody there, there was no camp phone. So these people had phones there. This was totally preventable. They should have, when they seen it raining a few hours, just for safety reasons, they could have moved those children away from the water, away from the camp, because they knew that this one place had flooded before. In 1946, I had read about the Texas flood, and it wasn't exactly in that area, but it was close enough to where they should have known that this place was going to get flooded, and like I said, this could have been totally prevented, you know, with the help from FEMA, with the help from Weather Service, with the help from NOAA, getting the notifications out and notifying people, because there's no excuse. We didn't have phones when I was younger. They have cell phones now. There was no excuse that they couldn't have got those babies out of there. There's no excuse. Anyway, I wanted to do this reaction to the video, and I'm not really a churchgoer or anything, but I do pray, and I pray for the families that are affected, and in no way I'm trying to take away from what happened. You know, when you talk about something that has happened, and you think about how do we take care of this the next time that it happens, so that it is no longer needlessly children dying because of inaction. The United States could be we, and we should be we, instead of me, this side and that side. And Democrats are all about helping people, but when it comes down to it, Republicans are not. They would rather tax breaks for the millionaires and take away school children lunches, and there's just a lot to politics and the way that it's run. It should be we, the people, and not this party or that party. Anyway, I don't mean to be repetitive, but I wanted to touch base on this video, and I hope that someone maybe gets some suggestions from this video. And you know, they could have been bullhorns. That's my suggestion. There could have been bullhorns. There could have been loudspeakers inside that camp. There should have been more phones. They should not have been left without their phones. We are in an electronic age. We're not at the point to where we were before. No, you don't want the kids on the phone all the time, but you know, at nighttime they might miss their mom, dad, whatever. and it's the point of being away from mom and dad. I understand that. I wholly do. But for safety reasons, they should have been allowed their phones at least near them. Anyway, you have a good day. See you next time.